Hello everyone, welcome back. Kirby1 playing as Akautkawa, the Japanese themed Oni, or Bakemono, I should say, NatGen nation in the game Invasion of Clowns. We are going to go over the current state of affairs in turn 45 and moving on from there. See what my plans are and do a couple of turns. So for starters, we're gonna be making some Dione with our death gems, or not Dione, I should say, Oni Shugos. That's what the Oni generals are, and they're cool thugs. They can die pretty easily, especially outside of my Turmoil Dominion. So we'll see how well they perform. We're site searching right now because we're sort of just waiting in limbo to decide whether or not I'm strong enough to attack fortified throne positions. So we're getting some good extra gem sites, especially the death gems. That'll help out. And we've got pinging here. This is pretty big stack right there to worry about. And pushing into his lands. What are they called? Cisco lands. The pink Duskwalker flag lands. Being counter-rated, I believe, counter-rated by the Minapiro and rating, counter-rating going on. Bad hailstorm. I don't think that's a remote attack. Get some Dominion. Misfortune, unfortunately. And there we go. Doing some patrolling. Yeah, so this is where we found a bunch of death sites right here. That's good. We're just reshuffling people around, reanimating with our priests. I have not built a lab right here. Supply usage, by the way, so like all of my guys are starving right here. Yeah, and that's mainly because I just have so many people here, and it's a really tiny province. I believe this particular province, before it was occupied by people back and forth, had a rather large number of mannequins. Special indie type mannequins occupied this province, so that may be why it's such a low population. This province I raided from Minapiro because it's in his cap circle to provoke him, and I also saw that this site was here because he kept sending a blood mage in there to summon these imps. I knew this site was here because I have played in a game where I had it before and was just summoning people. So you could see these guys on the border there, and I was like, oh yeah, I know what site that is. So I decided to take that from him, I think a couple of times. Anyways, my current strategy right now is primarily to just send forth my armies and raid the crap out of people. Except for these guys. Sanic. I'm just going to ignore them, pretty much. I'm going to raid unforted provinces for the most part, and just reduce their income while also increasing my income, which is already substantial. Recruitment-wise, I'm getting my cap-only slow-to-recruit mages, and then just as many of my sacreds as I can, just 'cause. And then recruiting mages and crabs on the forts near the thrones that I'm eyeballing. This fort is pretty secure, so I'm just, and it's far away from everybody, so I'm just ignoring recruitment there. And I'm also recruiting indie mages anywhere that I have them, which is basically just here. Yeah, so, and then just sort of shuffling troops around. I think I moved a bunch of guys out from here because I saw that they were starving, and I was like, you know what, instead of starving, why don't you put yourselves to good use. Here they're actually fine underwater. And then in addition, I'm just throwing up Eternal Pyre Not because I can use it, excuse me, for anything that I can think of, but just because we have no globals and because I can. And I don't know for a long time what I'm going to do with Eternal Pyre other than just to have it. But let's see how many gems. Yeah, I just threw 80 gems into it because I have one Fire Mage and whatever. We know what I'm doing. So I just have one Fire Mage in my entire nation, pretty much. Scroll down. Yeah, Fire 7, and that's it. And so I'm like, well, I will own all the Fire Gems and then decide what to do with them later. Yeah, we were on 24-hour turn timers, and even though I asked for a bunch of extensions, it was still sort of feeling like a semi-blitz just because we're in the pretty late game and I'm trying to do a lot of things all at once. So I was just like, Fire Gems, all right, I'll have them, and we'll see. And I wind up not using them for a long time. So my primary targets continue to be this throne, and this throne, which I think is actually all the thrones that are left. And oh, yeah, there's this throne too, but I'm not really looking at that right now. Right now I'm looking at those 3 thrones because I'm literally right next to them and debating how I'm going to take them. Yeah, if you see what he has to fight with, basically a massive astral communion that he throws rigor mortis and wailing winds into because he can, and all of his guys are either undead or mindless. And then he just sort of frontline tanks with like over 100 of these guys, which are ridiculous and extremely difficult to kill. So that is the state of the world. Research-wise, we are currently in the mood to research Frozen Heart and decide to try Frozen Heart spam. So we'll see how long that lasts for. No mercenaries right now. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So let's move on to turn 46. Continue. Got a lot of games. Some of them are multiplayer that I just haven't gotten around to deleting, and some of them are just sort of single player test games. So as you can see, we're doing a lot of rating. Successful, successful. This is some annoying villains that were there. Also successful, successful. And as you can see, our rating, this is just a ping. I'll check where that is in a second. Most of our rating is very successful just because crabs are extremely tanky, and then we can just buff them out with some long dead in the background. These guys can carry them around, plus do Horde of Skeletons. So it's pretty easy for us to raid around. This ping was here, just to see if he keeps patrolling. Yeah, I'm just gonna, well, I guess I didn't ping it this turn, but I just kept pinging it to see what he decided to do. And we're just sort of sitting here. I did this raid, and we're patrolling here, but it's mostly just sort of to intimidate Minapiro here, to sort of do intimidation both here and here, just to decide what I want to do on any given day. And I don't really have much more plans for that. At some point I do decide that it's better to have these guys researching instead of patrolling and being useless, so I will build a lab here eventually. And as you can see, our supplies are back down to manageable levels, so everybody isn't starving. It's mostly these guys, honestly, Aoni, that are Gluttony 2, that are going to be stealing all the supplies. So most of my crabs have either moved out or moved underwater, and now it's mostly just skeletons there. And we're making a heavy push for this fort right here. And this is going to start our deep raiding into his lands to sort of lock down his income. Because at this point, I've put or scouts in a bunch of places, And I see that for the most part, he doesn't actually have a lot of armies defending his homeland, except for this, which I'm not sure why they're there, you know, on the border with Minapiro instead of, I don't know, marching down here or something. So I'm basically moving a massive stack in this direction. It doesn't look massive yet, but, well, I guess there's a lot of crabs, but yeah, I'm like, well, if he's not going to defend this, that's fine. This is Lucid's old capital, by the way. As you can see, no more fort on it anymore because he decided to burn that to the ground. We're moving some astral nature mages into this area, and we're getting a bunch of reinvigoration gear to counter the rigor mortis stuff. Boots of the messenger with nature gems, and girdles of might with earth gems. So we're burning 2 whole stacks of gems in order to get as many reinvig items as we can. And then we're just going to equip a bunch of random mages with that and hope they stay awake long enough to, I don't know, cleansing water or dust to dust as frontline. We'll see. We'll see how that works out. So that's pretty much the state of affairs, basically just sort of staring each other down, Cold War style. These guys are scripted to, well, they're scripted to Power of the Spheres right now, but I think I was going to use these astral gems to do Magic Duel. Check my research. Maybe Mind Burn, yeah. I don't know. What do I want in Alteration 5? Yeah, not sure. Wooden Warriors, maybe? I don't know. Fire resistance. This is what I want. I want fire resistance. So I'm going to be dropping that out with a bunch of water mages, because there's still the heat aura. And also he would put heat from hell up. So it was the huge fatigue play right here, which I think either here or here countered me pretty heavily. It was rigor mortis, heat from hell, fatigue play. So yeah, I'm trying to cover my asses on both of those fronts as best I can, and then sort of eyeballing this, but I don't really have a counter to the Devi of Darkness right now, so we'll just sort of eyeball this nation and just raid them around opportunistically in their unforted provinces. So that's turn 46. Move on. So he had a lot of PD. I believe this is on his fort, and we'll double check that real quick. There's his Devi, and yeah, as you can see, he is pretty much able to clear out small raiding groups of ours and large raiding groups of ours by himself. So we'll take a look at that in a bit, and then we're just raiding around here, getting some free gold and unrest events, and then our scout got discovered. So let's watch this battle first, and then we can take a look at how the Devi is all geared out. So he's got Vine Shield, that's annoying. Pretty high defense skills, so it's going to be hard for crabs to hit him. And then 4 arms, so that's lots of different attacks, and he'll be able to go berserk, so he'll never rout. And shock resistance, regen, yeah, so. And then also these fluffers, so he can get even more powerful. And then earth buffs, he'll just get his protection up to ridiculous levels. And honestly, he could do hell power and be like stupid OP, but he doesn't even need it. So yeah, these guys aren't really going to do a whole lot. And of course, because they're Astral 1, they're just going to fatigue themselves out by casting Power of the Spheres. So yeah, This doesn't end well. I seriously doubt I even damage him. Haven't even seen regeneration pop yet, so. I mean, I guess at least he's cursed now, so go me. But yeah, not much I'm gonna be able to do. I'm casting Sleep apparently against Magic Resistance 18, which could be okay, but did nothing. So there you go. That's what I have to deal with there. That was sort of why I was going for Frozen Heart, because then I'd be able to bypass his lack of cold resistance, but we'll see if I even make the effort to try and do that. Right now I'm sort of focused on this direction instead. This guy, by the way, is super speedy gnome here, making it all the way from here to here in one turn. So we're bringing a lot of stuff in this general direction, plus my profit. And I think what I decide to do at this point, either this turn or next turn, is I see this throne and I'm like, hey, I'm like really close to that. I'm just 2 provinces away. Why don't I just go take this throne instead? It will get me closer because right now I have 2 out of the 4 that I need. So if I take one of his, this one, and then I just need 1 more out of the other 3, and that will net me the win. And this one looks extremely unprotected. Now I don't know what's in his capital right now, and there's still this force that could move in this direction, but I'm consolidating a pretty massive army over here. Lots and lots of mage support. I've got a Wailing Winds caster. I've got my Prophet, so I can take that throne. And then I've got a Rain caster, that's important, and Relief caster, that's also important. And as you can see, I've already started gearing up a lot of my mages for some reinvigoration protection against fatigue plays. So I'm actually thinking about jumping on this fort with a massive stack and then immediately just ignoring it and moving on straight to here, not actually storming it. So if he has any army in there, I can just bypass it and go straight for here. Also going to keep raiding out, counter raiding out. Well, raiding / counter raiding. This is basically all of his core lands here. And I just sort of assume that he's going to move his pretender either back onto Minapiro or to defend this throne, because those are the 2 most important provinces for him. He's not going to just stay here and wait for me to send a group. So it's just sort of an expendable group of guys to send out there. What else? That's it for right now. I'm moving another extra force of stuff into this stack here, and then we're going to eventually be making a play on this throne once I feel confident that I have everything up to snuff. I noticed that I don't have any good leadership here. These guys are okay, but I really want leadership 80 at least so that I have good morale for these guys. And I've got enough crabs. I mean, I've got enough at this point. Unfortunately, his dominion has spread. Well, actually, I think this is Senig's dominion right now. So there's order here because literally everyone other than me has taken order. So there's that. And yeah, I'm getting some extra. I need thistle maces in order to go up to reinvigoration because these guys can do. Oops. Sorry, it's frozen for a little bit. My computer's really struggling. All right. So I was saying these guys can do Strength of Gaia where they are right now with a Nature Gem, and that will bring them to Nature 4 to cast Relief, but with another Nature Gem, but that's pretty expensive, so I'm doing, at least for every battle, that's pretty expensive, and my Nature income is not super great, not gonna lie, it's pretty bad. Site searching has been kind of meh for me. I haven't site searched a lot of places, but, well, what you gonna do? So yeah, lots of raiding. This force moved out from here, and we're gonna push up and around. As long as he doesn't fight back, I'll just take whatever he wants to give me. Yeah, research. We're going up to construction 6. So the reason why I want construction 6 is because I'm like, how am I going to get more thrones per turn than just literally one? Because, as you may recall, my pretender is immobile without being able to move anywhere. So I'm thinking of a couple different options. One is to empower an astral so he can teleport, but that's extremely expensive. Another is to get up to construction 6, because with construction 6 I can make bracelets of water, and then with bracelets of water I will be water 3 in order to summon bishop fish. And I have actually, yeah, bishop fish are water 3. I only have water 2, but bishop fish I can get. I have free underwater labs that I got from events, luckily for me. So I'll just swap water 3 guy underwater and get some bishop fish, and then make shambler skin armor so they can come back on land. And we'll figure out from there. So I was like, well, I'll just go up to construction 6 because I can't make, unfortunately, I can't make robes of the sea because I'm not water 3. So I need to get to water 3 in order to be water 3, if that makes any sense. So that's the plan there. All right. Let's do 48. So 48, we have successful raid, another, and another. Oh, right, and there's an arena battle. Forgot about that. So I decided to send I decided to send my Dione because he wasn't, or I keep saying that, Onishugo, because he wasn't really doing anything. And I actually had a little bit of thug gear lying around. So I was like, sure, why not? I gave him fire resistance with dragon mail, some repel for that, and let's see, yeah, he's not getting any benefits from turmoil, but he's still pretty tanky, just by himself. Plus he's got wolves, so that's pretty cool. And it was not one that had a slave collar, so you could send mages into it. So he started a buff script, yeah, mirror image, and then Stygian's, oh, this is a national Stygian skin spell, so that's cool. And he didn't even make it. The wolves got him, so yay me. I succeed and I get the twin spear. And then some krakens. Now this was actually kind of annoying because it's right here, and this is actually a direct path for me for some of my amphibious units. So they would go here, here, then here, and then here. Although I suppose they could just use the roads, but it was still kind of annoying. It just sort of cut a path for me that I might want later. So I ignore it for now, but I'm like, krakens. Anyways, twin spear, it's an artifact, so it's meh. It will raise those killed as soulless beings, and it gives luck. It's an okay spear, but I'm not doing a lot of thugging, but I just sort of hang on to it for later. So, yay, go you, being useful. what else? So for right now, I'm going to ping this to see if he's patrolling here with anybody. I see the Devi is in his cap again. And we're moving, yeah, this is the turn where I'm like, you know what? Throne, go for it. So we're moving a crap ton of just random stuff all in this direction. Like all of these guys are like, you know what? Don't even care about this area, just go here. And we're going to see about taking this throne off of his hands and keeping enough stacks in the area to make him want to turtle up in his other thrones here. We're also going to knock these guys out, cut off his retreat paths, and these guys seem like a pretty easy force to kill. Bunch of Ravagers of the Flame, so we'll just take them out. And then this group is going to be here, so we're going to have a large force all ready and prepared. Let's see. Yeah, so you see the Thistle Mace, and you remember that last turn my income is like 2 nature gems. I'm burning a lot of astral pearls, actually, in order to make more Thistle Maces and get more nature income, because I need a lot of nature income for all of the nature spells, the relief and stuff that I'm using, plus making more Thistle Maces. So I think I'd basically go away. I'd sort of dispose of the whole idea of teleporting my Pretender around and at this point, and I'm like, yeah, instead of doing that, I'm just going to use my pearls to make more nature gems, because I need those instead. Building a lab here, finally, so these guys can be used for research instead of not research. And then keeping a smallish force in this area to sort of threaten him. Again, this army is sort of just sitting here, not sure what it's going to do. It might react, though, when I decide to make this push in this area. So I'm keeping an eye on that, sort of, but don't know what I can do about it. And yeah, the turns are kind of slow while we're playing this Cold War game, where I'm like, I don't think I can take this, and I don't think I can take this. So I'm just sort of building up my resources and deciding what to do there. But yeah, that is where we're at, and I think we'll do one more turn. As you can see, Eternal Pyre is still up, still going for construction, slowly, very slowly. Yeah, we'll do one more turn, and then we'll leave it for today's episode. Bunch of raiding and counter raiding with Minapiro. He still has these sacreds of his, the Guards of Thunder, which even without a bless would be pretty good. And I believe his bless is just like super strength. And it's he's very flexible force too. Yeah, super strength and blood surge, so very hard hitting. Pretty good against crabs, all things considered, especially with the lightning attacks, to which I don't have good defense. Raiding, actually this is just a ping. Counter raiding. It's got foul spawns. I'm not sure if this is from what he can summon or if it's from sight, maybe. Probably summons. And then he's got a smallish communion here, I think. Yeah. Just Mind Burn, probably. Mind Burn or Soul Slay. Yeah, there you go. And then lots and lots of raiding. And as you can see, I've been raiding Minapiro, and there has been reaction to my raids to take back his lands. Meanwhile, I've been raiding Seakos, and there has been no reaction. So I am drawing down a massive amount of his resources, like even here. So here I actually ping what's inside of his fort and see nothing there, but I still don't even care. I can just reach this throne with a massive stack of guys, and I don't see really anything in here either. Just a bunch of skeletons, and there's his pretender, literally by himself. So that is also a tempting target as soon as I take this throne. And again, this army is not moved, so I'm sort of expecting him to be like, oh, there's a throne, I should defend that and move in this direction, but we'll see. Demon Gate, that is amusingly unfortunate. Let's take a look at this battle, because then we can see how my effort goes to fighting his... Oh, he moved them out, I guess, this turn. Yeah, he must have moved his guys out and into here, because they didn't go here. They might have gone here, but I don't know. They probably went here. Anyways, at this point, I feel I am ready to make a play. So my play is just hit literally every throne on the map. So here we're going to send Doom Stack 1. We've got a Troll King here too, so we're going to do Legions of Steel on our crabs. Fire resistance, because we've got that now. And we place these guys up front here. We don't have Holy 3 in this area because our Prophet is down in another place, so all of our guys are doing Blessing here. Skeletons in the back, crabs all over the place. Rain, double up rain just in case. Anti-magic, relief, double relief again just in case. This is like redundancy up the wazoo here. We're sending a smallish group here just to sort of intimidate Minapiro, so he can't react to the other things I'm doing around the world, but I don't really expect this to do much as soon as his pretender just goes like, oh yeah, no. And then both of these stacks are moving on to here. We've got some Call Ancestors, because these guys can then go frontline, and once they get blessed, my bless has Undying in it, so that was sort of the point. Blood Bond with Undying, so the Ancestors will tank a bunch of the damage away from the Sacreds, and Shikomi are also Sacreds, so I got a bunch of Berserking Sacreds that will then get berserked off of blood bonded, undying ancestor warriors. Anyways, that's the theory. I don't have my Prophet here, unfortunately, so it's kind of hard to do that blessing bit. But I think all of my holy ones are going to do blessings. And then I do advance and cast spells because they can do dust to dust plus cleansing water and stuff once they get into range. Yeah, so that's the plan with that. Although maybe the guys with items shouldn't be advancing. Yeah, I do call Ancestor on him because he only has Death Wand, which I guess he could do dust to dust, but whatever. Wailing Winds, and I have a Undead Caster with Wailing Winds because he was twice born. Rain. I have a random crossbow from an event, so that's cool. I also have Shuras that I think I summoned, yeah, to lead the undead around. Horde of Skeletons. Unfortunately, forgot to script him, but whatever. Relief with him. So I've got pretty much everything. Do I have Communion, though? I don't think I have a Communion, so he might not actually be able to do that, because he'd get to Nature 3 with Power of the Spheres, so yeah. Oops. And last Doom stack, we've got our Prophet, Divine Blessing. We've got a bunch of Horde of Skeletons, Wailing Winds here too. Horde of Skeletons. Rain. Relief. I think he just sort of has Nature Gems sitting around for carrying. Yeah, a bunch of Reinvig gear, so yeah, that's the plan right now. Hit literally every throne on the map and hope I'll get something out of it. So we'll see. Research, we're gonna still get up to construction 6, although since most of my mages are out now fighting, research is really down. And my income, as you can see, that I'm just stealing from Cisco is through the roof. And I imagine his is pretty hurting right now. And I'm on most of his forts, or I will be. So there you go. I'm hoping that this will be a surprise attack and I won't actually catch his guys out in the open, and I'll sort of take him in the fort, or he'll break siege out, and I'll be able to do a better script, I think, because that was kind of crap script. I'm just sort of throwing things into the mix right now. Yeah. So we'll see. And I keep saying that. And so with that, see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.